In the games against North Carolina and Air Force in 1975 and against Purdue in 77, Joe Montana was 19 of 26 through the air, accounting for 52 points in only about 15 minutes of action. He ended his career at Notre Dame in a game where the Irish scored 23 points in only 7 minutes and 37 seconds. Dan Devine announced on August 15, 1980 that the upcoming season would be his last. The second game of the 80 season was against Michigan at Notre Dame. Now, the Maize and Blue have won more college football games than any other Division I school. Notre Dame is second. Having started playing in 1887, Michigan began playing in 1879. After that group of Michigan students helped introduce the game of football to Notre Dame, the games between the schools were infrequent. In 1978, though, the series was renewed on a consistent basis for the first time since around the turn of the century. Michigan won at Notre Dame Stadium in 1978, while the Irish upset the Wolverines the next year in Ann Arbor. On September 20th, 1980, the teams would meet in South Bend for 60 minutes of football that is still debated among the two schools' fans to this day.
The Irish had opened the season with a 31-10 win over Purdue, avenging the 79 loss in West Lafayette. Michigan also won its opener, 17-10 over Northwestern, as Bo Schembechler undoubtedly wanted Notre Dame to see only the basic offense and defense. On the unseasonably warm day, football fans would be reminded that a complete team is not just offense and defense, but also the kicking game. After a scoreless first quarter, Notre Dame takes it in on a 6-yard run by Phil Carter. The Irish defense holds. Notre Dame scores again as Mike Corey hooks up with Pete Holohan for a 10-yard scoring strike. Michigan comes back to score on an 8-yard pass from John Wangler to Lawrence Ricks and adds another touchdown just before half to tie the game at 14. The momentum gained by Michigan is not lost during halftime. One of the best to ever wear the winged helmet, Anthony Carter, breaks free on the second-half kickoff and nearly goes all the way. Rod Bone makes the tackle, but the Wolverines are again fired up. Another touchdown makes it 21-14, Maize and Blue. Michigan has the ball in the Wolverines' 34 as Wangler looks for Carter. Cornerback John Krim has excellent coverage and breaks on the ball and makes the interception. 66 yards later, Krim is in the north end zone. Known for his punishing ground game, Bo Schembechler has been burned by looking for the quick strike through the air. The extra point would have tied the contest, but Harry Oliver misses. It's 21-20 Michigan. A fumble gives the ball back to the Irish, and Carter scores his second touchdown of the day behind a crushing block from Pete Buchanan. The two-point try fails. 26-21 Irish. Less than 3 minutes remain as Schembechler makes a great call, and running back Butch Woolfolk breaks free on a sprint draw. Tom Gibbons saves the touchdown, but the Maize and Blue is now inside the 5, ready to apply the clincher. The Irish put up a strong stand, and Wangler has to try and pass to score. His throw to the end zone goes off Woolfolk's hands, but tight end Craig Dunaway makes the catch for the score. Michigan goes for 2 points. The conversion is no good. It's now 27-26 Michigan. Devine puts freshman quarterback Blair Keel into the lineup and goes to the shotgun formation. Keel looks long for Tony Hunter right in front of the Michigan bench. Hunter leaps for the rainbow pass and receives contact for but an instant.
Hunter makes the grab. No, he lost the ball. Flag on the play. So there's going to be a flag on the play, and Schembechler's on the field.
It's enough to draw a flag for pass interference. Ball is heading to Michigan territory. Keel again finds Hunter in a quick outcut. Hunter nearly turns back into the field of play, but does step out of bounds. Time remains for one play. A long field goal from north to south into a breeze. The ball is on the right hash mark, and Harry Oliver, a left-footed kicker, comes in. Bill Seawee snaps the ball to Tim Cagle, who makes a perfect hold. Oliver explodes into the ball and scorches it toward the uprights. His aim is true, and he has just enough distance for the 51-yard field goal. One of the biggest kicks in Notre Dame Stadium history has the crowd on the field as Notre Dame beats Michigan 29-27.
The 1980 edition of the Irish posted a final record of 9-2-1, losing to the eventual national champion Georgia Bulldogs in the Sugar Bowl. Michigan won the Big Ten and represented the conference in the Rose Bowl, defeating the University of Washington in Pasadena. The years 1985 and 1986 are not that fondly remembered by Irish football fans. Notre Dame won 5-6 both seasons, but those years were dramatically different. 1985 was the final year in the tenure of Gerry Faust as head coach. 1986 was the first for Lou Holtz. Faust's final game was nothing short of a debacle. Miami pounded the Irish 58-7 in the Orange Bowl. Lou Holtz watched that game on TV and saw the work that needed to be done to put the Notre Dame program back among the nation's elite. The road was often rocky, especially during the '86 season. Michigan beat the Irish by a point at the stadium. Even with the loss, Notre Dame was ranked 20th the next week in the polls. Michigan State beat the Irish by 5, Pittsburgh by 1, Penn State by 5, and LSU by 2. The record, 4-6, as Notre Dame looked west and looked to USC.
The men of Troy were coached by Ted Tollner, who was not a favorite of many of the USC fans. One reason was the fact that the Irish had beaten Troy 3 consecutive seasons. Tollner was also following one of USC's most popular coaches ever, John Robinson. USC gets a 48-yard field goal on its first possession. But Irish defensive back Steve Lawrence intercepts Rodney Peete on the next series, and Notre Dame goes to work. Running backs Mark Green, Hiawatha Francisco, and Braxton Banks help move the ball down the field. Quarterback Steve Berline connects with Tim Brown for a 12-yard gain to the USC 1. Berline then finds tight end Andy Heck with a shot put pass for the score. The extra point attempt by John Carney is blocked. Notre Dame gets the ball back, but Berline throws the interception. That Lewis Brock, son of the Baseball Hall of Fame member, returns 58 yards for the score, 10-6 Trojans. Terry Anderzak replaces Berline, but Notre Dame cannot move, and USC goes to the air. Peete goes deep to Lonnie White for a 53-yard gain. Leroy Holt scores on the next play at 17-6 USC. Teams trade field goals before halftime. John Carney hits on a 33-yarder, but Don Schaefer booms one through from 60 as time expires in the second quarter. USC has momentum and a 20-9